Today's episode of Wine and Dime is sponsored by Rooted Planning Group, a fee-only financial planning firm that believes life is about events, supported by your dollars and cents. And we want to help you achieve your goals. Hop on over to www.rootedpg.com to learn more about the services. Every week, it's my goal to share financial information that helps you in both your life and Financial Vineyard. We hope it takes you from your roots to the journey of your vines and the influences in the air that have helped craft your delicious life. Like wine, life and finances have different palates that should be celebrated and not judged. Hello, podcast listeners. Amy Irvine, CEO and founder of Rooted Planning Group here. Excited to be talking about today's fourth part of college planning series that we're doing. And this week, we're actually going to be digging into a specific tool called a 529 plan. Now, this is part 4 and the final part of this particular series. So if you haven't listened to the other 3 parts, part 1, we talked about some college savings and award options. Part 2, we talked about the top 10 changes of the FAFSA for the 2023-2024 filing season. Part 3, we talked about the income equation and timeline for the 2023-2024 filing season of the FAFSA. So today we're going to be digging into that 529 tool that can help you pay for any expected contribution, what used to be called the expected family contribution. Now, whatever you're expected to pay for college, this is basically a tool that can help you pay for that. Before we get into that particular topic, I want to share with you some thoughts that I have about the wine that I am exploring this fall. So as the fall starts to approach upstate New York, and I start to think about my vacay to, and what I mean vacay, I don't mean vacation, I mean my vacancy to the upstate New York area. I love the fall now. In the past, I was never a big fan of the fall because I knew what was coming next. But now that I go where it's warmer in the winter, I actually enjoy the colors very much and the time of year in this area. I'm looking forward to being a tourist this fall, exploring the beauty of the area. I'm planning on touring the east side of Seneca Lake and using a travel guide I found online called the Finger Lakes Vineyards. I will put this in the show notes for those of you that are interested. One that's on the list that I haven't been to is the Kaywood Vineyards. One of the things that I wanted to explore about them is because they are associated with another winery in our area, actually in the Hammondsport area. They are located on a historic farm overlooking Seneca Lake in the Finger Lakes region, and they're not all that far from the Finger Lakes National Forest, which I thought was something that I didn't know and was interesting. Their tasting room features a redwood and oak bar that was handcrafted from recycled wine tanks and a 3-story fireplace. Doesn't that sound like a wonderful fall setting? They are a proud member, as they say on their website, of the Pleasant Valley Wine Company family of businesses, which Pleasant Valley is based in Hammondsport and is the U.S. bonded winery #1 and home of the Great Western Champagnes, one of the only champagnes in the United States. So if you're in the area or you're thinking about exploring the upstate New York wine region, it's worth taking a stop at this winery and looking around and seeing the beautiful view and the setting. So moving into our topic today on 529 plans, let's back up and talk about what is a 529 plan. I'm sure you've heard about these. My concern always with our clients is making sure that they don't overfund a 529 plan. So although we use these as a tool, we don't usually use them exclusively as the college savings tool. Contributions are made with after-tax dollars, but once the money is invested in the account, it grows tax-free and money taken out is not taxed as long as it is used for qualified education expenses. Now, you may get a state benefit from making those contributions, but not all states offer that. 529s can have a more minimal impact on financial aid eligibility than other savings vehicles because they are considered a parental asset. And if they are actually outside of the parents or the students owning the 529, they may not be counted at all. So for example, if a grandparent or an aunt or uncle or a friend as a 529 plan for your child, it may not even be taken into consideration as a asset. Some states, and like I said, including New York, offer tax deductions or credits for contribution. There is way too much to cover on 529 plans, so please contact us to learn more about 529 strategies for help in choosing the right one for your needs. Some states require you to make contributions to your state-approved 529 plan, while other states are a bit more flexible. Now, how can you make a 529 contribution, or how does gifting come into play? Well, the gift tax exclusion is $17,000 for 2023. That means that anyone can gift your child $17,000 per year and not pay a gift tax. Grandparents, aunts, uncles, or anyone can pay tuition directly to the college to reduce their taxable estate, and there's no limit on that. So while they can make the $17,000 gift free, I guess you want, or tax-free gift to the 529 plan, they can do an unlimited amount directly to the college. So just an FYI that's a planning opportunity. The college's posted tuition rate is often not what you will pay. Many students will never pay full price, even those whose family's income are north of $200,000. Additionally, many colleges will let you pay tuition monthly if you want to. You do not have to pay in one or two lump sums in most cases. So when you're thinking about a 529 plan, think about how you're going to map in. A lot of people will ask me, should they, put money in a 529 plan? And the answer is usually maybe some, but not all, as I mentioned, because there's other opportunities that you could commingle that with. We always tell people to save for retirement first because that's something that you can't borrow for. But if you do have some excess funds, perhaps considering putting some in a 529 plan as well as putting some in a regular brokerage account. There's different types of 529 plans, and I did mention them in the first episode of this series, so you can kind of dig into that and listen to that. But there's the savings plan and then the private plans and the prepaid plans, if you want to call it that. They all come into consideration when you're looking at paying for college. But let's take a step back and even talk about the financial aid office and if you need assistance with coming up with some of that payment process. The college financial aid office is your friend. They are an invaluable resource for information and help. Parents should engage with them very early on. A school's financial aid decision is just the start. Once your college is accepted and there is an accompanying financial aid decision, you should work with the office to see if there's any additional money available. Sometimes money becomes available later in the process, as the student might have gotten a financial aid change of situation, or even if they got more financial aid with a different college, sometimes you can negotiate, and students who might have gotten financial aid may have chose to go to a different school elsewhere, which frees up the funds. I also think it's important that we talk, if you went to college in a particular place and your student is going there, make sure that you talk to your alma mater. It would be great if you can actually have a conversation with them, and maybe there's scholarships that are available for your student because you went there as well. And don't forget about the hidden costs of college. That's a big part of it. They can run up to a couple $100s for each student, possibly per month. Similarly, keep in mind that those college visits can add up quickly just in the process of doing some investigation. While we encourage students very much to visit the colleges that they are interested in attending, it can get expensive. Now, just a quick rundown, just in case you missed the show, I just want to remind people that you can save with different kinds of 529 plans. There's the 529 savings plans and then the 529 prepaid plans. The savings plans are very similar to any other investment that you might put money into, whether it's 401k, a brokerage account. They are mutual funds generally that you can invest in. Prepaid plans have a little bit more complexity to them. So you're prepaying for college. If you have a private savings plan, it is what they call a private savings 529 plan. It's a prepaid 529 plans. Sometimes that's called a guaranteed savings plan, which allows you to save for college by prepaying all or part of the tuition and mandatory fees at a predetermined rate. These are if it's a private savings plan, it's generally for private colleges. There's a list of colleges that would be participating. You lock in a percentage of the cost of the college tuition. With contract plans, you choose how many semesters or years of college you want to save for. So typically up to 4 years, and agree to pay a set amount each month as part of your contract. How much you pay is based on several factors, but typically includes your child's age and number of years you save for. Just like anything else, the projected future costs also are brought in. Unit plans work a little bit differently. Your contributions are buying fractional units, redeemable in the future. The return is typically based on the average tuition rate and increases at participating schools. And then, of course, you've got your state plans that can be prepaid plans as well. Again, this is extremely important that you map out your situation and how your situation is very differently from your neighbor's situation, because you can also take into consideration brokerage accounts and saving for college, or a combination of all of the above. I know this was a short and sweet podcast, but we wanted to finish out this particular series with some ideas on how you might be able to save for what the expected contribution is that you guys are making to your families, and how you can fund any gaps that are there for you in your savings plans. We thank you for listening today. We hope you enjoyed the podcast. Although we realize this is not something everybody needs at this stage of their life, you may know somebody who does, and we'd love it if you'd share it with your friends and family. And if you get a moment, hop on over to iTunes and rate us so that more people like you can find us. A special shout out to TJ Meehan at Meehan Media. We certainly appreciate all the faux pas fixes and the blending that he does during the production stages. Thanks, everyone.
And that will about do it for today's episode of Wine and Dime. You can contact Amy through the website www.rootedpg.com or amy@rootedpg.com. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram @rootedpg for the latest news. And if you have any questions, comments, or topics you would like to hear about, feel free to let us know. And don't forget to rate and subscribe the show wherever you get your podcasts. And again, thank you for listening, and be sure to tune in next time.